90.8, 81.4. This is from Donnie Football, by the way. 139.4, 135.4, 119.9, 114.7, 158.1, 101.8, 158.3, and 141.4. His passer rating yesterday against the Steelers, 66. Completion percentage, under 50%. Now we are joined by Mark Kaboly, our Steelers insider. Also, Pat McAfee, Steelers insider. He is brought to us by Bet365 and the injury lawyers of LGKG, Western PA injury lawyers for over 90 years. What was your biggest takeaway from the victory, Mark?
By the way, hi, Adam.
Yeah, good to see you.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Dorin.
Hey,
Biggest takeaway.
Yep.
Man, I think they might be for real. As in have a legit opportunity to be a Super Bowl contender right now. I don't know. I'm not quite ready to say they're going to be there. They're going to win it or anything like that. But I'm just very impressed in the different ways they have the ability to win games. I mean, they can play any way right now. I mean, if you're going to take, just offensively, you're going to take their run game away, they'll throw it. If you're going to take their pass game away, they run it. If you're going to face a team that can run, they can stop that. You can stop a Lamar Jackson. You can win special teams ways. You can win by out-coaching them. I mean, that's something that I don't think that this team or this organization has seen. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the 70s. I mean, even during the good times of the 2005, the 10s, you always had that part of the offense or the defense where you're a little skeptical. 2005, it's like, okay, is the offense really good? And 8 and 10, can they run the ball? I mean, a little bit later, the defense was a little bit. Here, it just seems like everything has been put together very meticulously and actually is working.
Real quick, you're sitting here right now basically saying this version of the Steelers is more complete than 05, 08, and 2010.
Yeah, because I do, because those teams were flawed in some ways. I'm not saying this team's not flawed, but that team, you had bigger question marks. I mean, like I said, in 05, the defense was solid, but you had to say, okay, is the quarterback going to be able to lead us? If they take the run game away, are they going to be able to throw the ball? I mean, you didn't know. I mean, that 8 and 10 team, they couldn't run. They were some of the worst running teams, worst offensive lines you've ever saw it before. That's not quite the case. I'm not saying this team is great, but when you compare them across the board, I think they're the most balanced team that I've probably seen, mind you, through 10 games. I mean,
sure,
obviously things can change, but as we sit right now, they can, whatever way you want to play, I think they can play and win.
What were some of the flaws or negatives that you did see in the game, if we want to nitpick?
Well, offensive line, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Russell didn't have his best day, but he was getting pressure quite instantly. Whoever that one guy was named Owa, what did he have, 3 or 4? Should have been 4 sacks, and he was on him quick. Broderick Jones was not playing well. They took the running game away for the most part. That pretty much stifled their offense. So, I mean, you'd have to look at that. But when you have the special teams and the defense to be able to back you up like that, you can afford games like that.
I can't believe he's going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 180.
I mean, honestly, you walked in that locker room yesterday and it just had a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
A vibe as, hey, we're good. We know we can good. We know we can beat anybody. And honestly, if you think, I mean, in the past, you're like, oh, you don't want to face Kansas City. You get crushed by Kansas City. You don't want to go to New England and face Tom Brady. You'll get crushed by Tom Brady. I don't have that feeling right now. I think they could play and beat pretty much anybody right now. And I don't think you could say that about any other previous teams over the last, at least 10 to 15 years.
Man.
Is there? I mean, if
No.
they go into Kansas City, you'd be like, they have no shot. You would not say that right now.
I absolutely
agree.
would not say that
I
right
agree.
now. I would not say that right now. And even when things were good, 2016, you thought, okay, they're going to have to play the Patriots on the road in the AFC Championship
defense
game.
stunk.
Yeah, and they got abused. However many points the Steelers could have scored that day, the Patriots always would have found a way to score one more point than them. They could have named the score. And then you think about 17, and the Steelers lost at home to the Jags. And then you think about I do feel better about their playoff chances than I did back in 16.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, more recent past, you would say if they get in, okay, they're going to get in one and done. If they get in this year, which obviously they're going to, you have a feeling that it's not going to be a one and done. They're probably their best chance to win a playoff game in 10 to 12 years.
You mentioned the offensive line being a concern, and I would agree with that. What about receiver? Mike Williams played 9 snaps yesterday, 36, I want to say, for Van Jefferson, and
I thought Mike Williams played more than that.
I read 9.
That was week 1. I thought he played in the 20s last week.
He played in the 20s? He didn't get a single target yesterday, did he?
When I saw it, when I looked at it, I thought it said 20. You might have to look it up again.
Okay, but
I'm like, he was
a non-factor.
I didn't even notice him.
So you're there, and we're obviously watching on TV. Were they having significant issues getting separation? Because that's what it looked like to me from my view.
It was a twofold. I mean, they weren't getting open a lot, but the instant pressure wasn't helping at all. So I think you can blame both of them. You look at that. But what I do like is Russell Wilson on those 3rd and longs. This probably has nothing to do with anything, but if it's 3rd and 14, those are almost impossible to convert. He gets the ball short to George because George can, if anybody can break a tackle and make it work, it was him, and he was able to do that a couple of times. But it was an interesting game because I don't think Russell had his best game. Offensive line didn't have their best game, and I don't think the receivers were open much at all. And probably your main target other than Pickens was Darnell Washington, and that tends to be an issue, I think. You don't want him to be your number 2 target.
What do you make of the red zone issues? 7 out of 18 in the red zone since Russ has taken over.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to figure that out right now. I mean, nothing seems to be working. Usually you need to be able to run the ball down there. I do think they're being a little bit predictable.
I agree with that. I think they're running it too much down there.
I would like to see some play action on first downs to just, get it, take shots that way. But, hey, maybe they don't need that. Maybe they found their elixir to that in number 2, right? Which we've been talking about. Of if you have a short package of plays, that's where you'd want them.
I know, but how did you feel in that moment whenever he did go in? Because we were talking, he went in cold. He had snap issues before in the past.
But they put him in the shotgun, which I did like.
He fumbled a shotgun snap against Indianapolis.
Well, I did rather, because that's the first thing I thought. I'm thinking, oh, geez, you don't want to put him in this situation and him have the CQ exchange issues, but that's where they put him in that spot. But I thought I liked the 3rd and longs, or I think it was 3rd and 12, wasn't it? Something like that, when he was able to almost convert it. So, yeah, I mean, you're taking a chance by putting him in there because of that, but I think it was very warranted, and I like it. I mean,
you think they're going to do it more in the red zone?
I don't know. I think they need to, and at least have that option. Because we saw in the preseason, early in the season, when he's in the goal line inside the 10, man, and the read option, he's pretty dynamic. And I don't know if you want to continuously do that. I would like to see some, dummy play, so to speak. Just go in there, hand the ball off, and come back out.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see some of that, but yeah, I mean that's one option. I mean, you got to get the ball to the tight end as well. I mean, Freiermuth needs to produce more, and I don't know if that's because the offensive coordinator, if that's because the quarterback, or if that's just because it's not part of the plan. I don't know what's happening there, but that's the guy you need to be able to target around there, and they haven't been able to do that yet.